Meanwhile, on the singing planet of Aladna from the movie The Marvels, EvilJeff and Brett are getting ready to do their podcast.
Here we are, here we go. EvilJeff, let's do a show.
I can't wait, I have so many opinions to talk about with you. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, but I'm a garbage person.
He's a garbage person. We've got X-Men books to talk about like X-Force and Red. We've got Uncanny Spider-Man 2. I am so dead.
We also have season finales of Doom Patrol and Loki.
And our biggest topic of the week is, of course, the
Marvels.
We are MCU geeks.
Oh yeah. Now get the sexy music. We're talking about the Marvels. Okay, all right. I think this is. I've taken this too far.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 280 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy. I am your host, Brett, and with me tonight, today, and always is EvilJeff. Hi, Evil.
Hello.
Hi. I should have said with us for all time, always is EvilJeff, because, you know, that's a reference to Loki, which just wrapped up.
It did just wrap up. And we also wrapped up on Doom Patrol, Dunsies, Forevers.
Dunsies for Doom Patrol, Dunsies. And we'll talk about both of those shows in addition to The Marvels, the new MCU movie later.
The Marvels. And after the Marvels debut, women's superhero movies, Dunsies, forever.
According to a third of the internet.
Yeah.
A loud third of the internet. But we also, speaking of the MCU, we've got some hot topics that we want to cover first. So do you want to hit that hot topic music?
Hit it. We got some hot topics. Yeah.
EvilJeff, I don't know if you know this, but we are in phase 5 of the MCU. And it's feeling a bit messy.
Marvels?
Yes.
What's the start of phase 5? The Marvels?
Quantumania.
Oh, Quantumania. Ugh, well, I mean, that is... Woo!
Yeah, I think it goes from Quantumania to Ironheart, actually.
Ironheart is the end of phase 5?
I believe so, according to the last list I saw.
All right.
But we have date changes in that Ironheart may not be for quite a while because the MCU is spreading out. Marvel Studios is spreading out the release of its feature films, and they've just announced new dates for the next crop of films that are part of phase 5.
Okay.
So do you know what the next, and actually if you think about, and I'm sorry, already, big spoilers for the Marvels, for Loki. Okay, so if you haven't seen the Marvels, you haven't seen Loki, turn back now, check back later. But considering that Deadpool 3 is the next MCU movie, hey, the end of the Marvels kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So it's
Deadpool 3
and then
is going to be the only movie in 2024.
The only Marvel movie coming out in 2024 is Deadpool?
That is correct.
Is there any TV shows?
When does Echo drop?
I don't know. Does it not list the TV shows there too?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at just the movies. But Deadpool 3 is the only one in 24, and then in 25, we'll have Captain America New World Order in February. We'll have Thunderbolts in July, and those two films have to be connected. And we'll have Blade in November.
Did we talk about that already, about the Blade, what I heard about the writing of it,
like,
how they had to rewrite
that
it?
That he walked, yeah.
Because they were like, oh, we know what? We shouldn't have, he's not going to be the star of the movie Blade.
He's going to be like the fourth most popular character in the movie. Huh?
Oh my God.
What? So they're rewriting that. Do you know what is also going through major rewrites and reshoots? Unfortunately, Captain America New World Order. is.
Okay.
But a lot of people are speculating that's because the character of Sabra, who we know from the X-Men as an Israeli Mossad agent, we think she's being written out of the movie.
Oh, because of political reasons?
Because of sensitive political reasons, yes.
Oh, fun.
So that's fun-ish. I think we're going to have a What If Season 2, maybe? Coming our way, we're going to have an X-Men 97. We're going to have an Echo. I believe Agatha is going to be fall of 2024. So
where we will finally be interest to, I mean, we'll talk about this later, it looks like, I'm surprised, has the Young Avengers shown up anywhere on there?
No. But we'll talk about them in a little bit.
They're being formed, so I feel like they're should be announced sometime soon. Before they're not young anymore. Hello. They're like, yeah, we're going to do the Young Avengers in 2030 when they're all adults. Shut up.
Avengers in their 30s.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that's it. So 24 is going to be a bleak year, but I feel like it's going to be a reset year where they're going to try to make everything good again and then come out with good shit again starting in 25.
Yeah. But so that's, it's a lot of things. What it's going to take to make it good again. It's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
But I will have thoughts on these shows later on. I don't want to think maybe we shouldn't get too much into those until we start talking about them.
But first, I think it feels like you want to talk about comic books.
I do, especially the X-Men. Because the X-Men are going to be making an appearance in multiple sections of our show today.
Yeah, they are. So hit that X-Men music, bitch.
I was reading X-Men comics in a cocktail bar. That much is true. Yeah.
Okay. We've got 3 X-Men books to talk about. We
do.
X-Men Red, X-Force, and Uncanny Spider-Man. So let's talk about them from worst to best. So X-Force.
X-Force.
X-Force, or as I'd like to call this issue, it's finally over. And
it's finally over.
And I will tell you, having us wait, what has this been going on for like 2-3 years? How long is?
Oh, this Mikhail Rasputin shit in X-Force. I mean, I think it's been going on for 84 years.
And the fact that it ended like this, it's so stupid.
I mean, it ended with the dimensional rifts that Mikhail was trapping all of the X-Force characters in. It's falling apart around them. They're trapped in between space-time because he's dying. Meanwhile, he's fighting Colossus. Colossus is like punchy. And they escape. And Colossus kills the fuck out of his brother.
The writer who was controlling Colossus is like, I don't think I'm ever going to write again.
He's like, but you never know when the muse will strike next. So Chronicler is out there. But
Colossus is free. And Domino's just like, you're a bad guy. And he's like, all right, well, take me in, do what you must if you want to put me on trial or whatever. But at this point now, I think X-Force, the next episode of X-Force, next issue of X-Force, the X-Force should be there with the underground X-Men in the Morlock tunnels. Shouldn't they all, don't you think?
They should be part of the bigger picture, folks.
Yeah. If they're like suddenly like, well, the whole world's gone to crap, but the 4 of us are going to do our own thing. No, I think Colossus needs to be with Kitty Pryde. I want to see Kitty Pryde and Colossus. Like, I would like some interactions with Colossus and Kitty. Like, these are people that were fucking on the regular. He fucked her so hard that she phased through the floor. Okay?
Yeah.
After he came back from the dead. They were in love. They were going to get married and fucking had a wedding planned. And then why did they not get married? And in the end, Rogue and Gambit got married instead. What was their reason?
Because he tried to put the ring on her finger and she was phased. And then he was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like trying to put the ring on.
Oh,
and
so it was
she's like,
mostly
I
Kitty
gotta
being.
go.
It was just Kitty being weird.
It was
Yeah.
Kitty being weird because she's a lesbian.
Yeah, I think I want Colossus and Kitty. I need that. Bringing Emma Frost, Colossus, Kitty in. I
Absolutely.
want that in the mix. So let's get that in the mix. Let's also get rid of. Let's like also. Can we just? Are we now pretending that Kid Omega was not an old man now that he's in that? There's
Just
so much
pretending. He's just Kid Omega again because he put a body on. I don't get it.
I don't understand. So I'm hoping for good things of what's going to be happening with X-Force.
Well, the preview art for next issue looks like the cover looks like they are going to be part of the whole Orcus because it's them and Logan. It's Colossus, Sage, Laura, and Logan fighting Stark Sentinels. Yay!
All right, good.
There was one moment I liked in this issue, and that was the panel of the Chronicler and the other Orcus agent crashing through into Quentin Quire's little corner of the pocket dimension. And he goes, who the fuck are you guys? I liked that.
Yeah. And he's like, am I saving you or are you saving me?
Yeah. Happy it's over. Let's move on.
But maybe we shouldn't move on because there is something that McCall has had in his presence, and they even put it on the cover of the comic, which is the Cerebro sword.
And nary a mention
and
here.
Do you know
right?
how much it shows inside the comic? Not at all. So where is it? It's things like this where they're like, oh, he has the Cerebro sword, and then it ends and he kills him, and then they're like, okay, anyway, but he doesn't have it now, and like, whatever. It's just the laziness of this whole story. And then it's like his brother was killed. Wasn't his brother killed already? Like, can he really be killed?
This, I'm not sure. This feels like Benjamin Percy had some alternate plans and maybe had to kind of like just move on to something else.
Yeah, this is
that's
just
speculation.
This was
Who knows?
Just not good. Let's move on. To Uncanny Spider-Man, where Kurt Wagner needs. Is he getting tested? Because he's dipping his dick in a lot of girls. He needs to get tested.
He is on Krakoan medicine. He takes it preventatively, like PrEP.
This guy loves to fuck. For someone who's like super religious, he's like, let's fuck. And
what I like about Nightcrawler,
so into it. Like
they're into it.
I still am like trying to, because he's definitely hot in the pictures, but then they're also like, but he's covered in a thin layer of fur. The blue is supposed to be fur.
Yeah, but it's more like peach fuzz. It's like velvet. Think of it like velvet. And
then she was saying he was doing stuff with his tail. I'm like, what? Yeah, so he's fucking Silver Sable. And she's basically like, and he's like, I know you're trying to kill me. She's like, yeah, I'm trying to kill you, but like, I have off hours. And if I see you when I'm not working, then we'll fuck. But as soon as I am working and I see you, then I'll probably have to kill you. I think that is hilarious.
But like, not only is he fucking Silver Sable, like they show him fucking Silver Sable. It's one of the hottest two characters having sex comic book panels I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where she's just sitting right on his prehensile tail, wink.
Yeah.
On top of a rooftop. She's just sitting right on it.
Yeah. And
who among us haven't been there?
Yeah, and it turns out Orcus is like, they're useless. We don't like them. And they're like, yeah, but they're kind of already paid, so they're going to do their job. So we don't even care. We don't really like them. We don't know what they're doing. They're not fully affiliated. Yeah, I think this is fun.
They're mercenaries with heart. What I think is fun is they're having a serious conversation about their relationship, and then all of a sudden he breaks out into what turns out to be Lila Cheney lyrics, and they start singing what turns out to be a Lila Cheney song together, and then you flip the page and you've got the lyrics to the Lila Cheney song. I mean...
And this was just made up. This was never wrote previously, right?
No, it's made up. Yeah. No, it's a real Lila Cheney song.
No, I mean like in a previous issue, like she was singing a song and they had those words in it somewhere.
I don't know, but I'm wearing a Lila Cheney t-shirt right now.
What's her band called?
Cats Laughing. You know how I know that?
Cats Laughing. Kitty Pryde had a t-shirt of it. See, I remember in Excalibur.
Yeah. Also, I'm wearing a Cats Laughing t-shirt right now.
No, you are not.
I swear to God, I will text you a picture.
Where did you get it? I want one. Does it say Lila Cheney?
Jay, you know that podcast, Jay and Silent, Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men? They made custom shirts and they made a Lila Cheney one and I bought it and I'm wearing it and it says Cats Laughing on it.
Oh my God. I love this.
Hell yeah. I came prepared to talk about Uncanny Spider-Man. Here, I'm going to do it. I am texting EvilJeff a photo in real time.
Let me see this shit.
My penis is in the shot. Don't look at it.
Oh, hot.
And send. Are you masturbating?
Oh my God. I want this.
It's a great shirt.
I mean, it's the way you shot it does look like it's cut off and you would have your dick in like.
My dick is out.
Yeah.
It's just cropped out.
Get your dick.
So then all of a sudden, Nightcrawler is like, oh my God, I forgot about Mystique.
Yeah.
And Mystique's like, get away from me, Spider-Man. They have my baby.
I know. What is going on with her? What happened to her?
And he's like, the irony. I am your baby. Her brain got screwed up. Her brain got twisted.
What a shame. What a shame.
What a shame. She'll be okay.
Oh, I'm sure
I feel like
get
her
it
brain
together.
is gonna untwist itself because of her powers.
Yeah, but I love how he's like, oh, she's all fucked up. Anyway, like, take your mask off. Be like, hey, I'm your son. It's me. Hello.
Hey, it's me. But before he could do that, he's attacked by hounds. These vultures hounds using the techno-organic virus. He's created hounds out of characters like Feral and Dagger.
And as we see later, Cloak.
Cloak. Oh, I hated that.
Cloak and Dagger.
And then
hounds.
to save Nightcrawler, Nightcrawler's sucked up by Cloak. To save Nightcrawler, Mystique shoots Cloak in the head, killing him, which I was like, did Mystique just fucking kill Cloak? No.
Yeah. And that's the thing where I'm like, are they, but they're not mutants, so does that mean no hope for resurrection?
Right.
I love how they're just
Cloak
like, hey, that Cloak and Dagger TV show on Hulu was a flop, so we don't care, just kill him.
But no, the techno-organic virus, whatever Vulture did to Cloak, resurrects him, prevents him from being killed.
And then we have techno-organic Vulture, and it looks like they're using it because they have Warlock trapped at Orcus too. That's
which
kind
is
of the ending.
I thought that was really cool because all that Warlock stuff happened, in these Cy Spurrier Nightcrawler books, and like Legion of X is where the Warlock thing happened, and so it's nice to pick up that thread.
Yeah.
In these same books and save Warlock.
Oh, poor Nightcrawler.
Poor Nightcrawler, but I just think this is a fun book that does really well kind of hybridizing Spider-Man stuff.
And the art is really good.
The art's really good. Yeah, it's a good read.
All right, yeah, it's a good book. So that's Uncanny Spider-Man. And that leaves us
X-Men Red.
X-Men Red, which is always our favorite book. It's kind of a given. I do think it's interesting of like, if we had to do our favorites, if it was like a week where X-Men and Immortal and X-Men Red came on at the same time, I don't know what we would do.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
Because both are solid storytelling.
But we finally have Apocalypse. And here I'm going to say this about Apocalypse. Apocalypse is a bad dad.
He's a bad dad, but he's showing signs of being able to be a good dad.
Maybe. He's also a bad boyfriend.
Death.
He's also a bad boyfriend.
Yeah, but you know what? He's shaping up to be a good X-Man.
And here's my thing is from what we're going to talk about later, is he, is Richter dead?
We don't know where Richter is, do we?
And because in this, Apocalypse is forming a new horseman, but rather than doing death and famine and pestilence and war, he is doing air, fire, water, earth.
Yeah. I'm gonna challenge the use of the word horseman here.
Okay.
But I see what you're saying.
He's calling the four corners like the craft.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, he's doing that. And so it opens with his selection of his fire, which it's so funny. With the connections he has to Sunfire, you would predict that Sunfire would be the fire. No, Vulcan is the fire. And he breaks Vulcan out of the, the kind of sarcophagus, like prison that Storm put him in when Storm fought him many issues ago, made of the Mysterium encasement.
Yeah, and so then shows up in that cloak. We were like, is that Richter? Is that Richter? But we also know that Apocalypse is the one that found Sunfire. No, it is Sunfire and Redroot. And apparently Sunfire and Redroot, are they the Earth then?
They're the Earth because Sunfire is the Earth in which Redroot has laid her roots.
Right. And then is Apocalypse one of the corners as well? He's his own corner?
He's the water because he's fluid.
And then he's like, here's my little assistant, you're air. And even the assistant's like, okay, it's a bit of a stretch.
Which is great. And then...
but when it was Sunfire, he was like, I wanted Richter to be Earth, but oh well. And I'm like, oh, is that because he's dead? Or he couldn't find him?
I think it's because Richter is just getting railed by Shatterstar.
We don't know where Richter is. But I'm curious if it's like, was Richter there and he's like, actually, I changed my mind, I want Sunfire, or is you can't find him?
I mean, also, Sunfire is right there. So, path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Why go looking for Richter when you have a good enough version? What I love about this is, we have some, before, we'll get to it. So, we have Storm kind of dealing with the Uranos trigger first, before Apocalypse really does his thing. Storm is fighting with Ironfire, who's like, just use the fucking Uranos trigger. Hello. And she's like, hello. No.
Yeah, as soon as you're committing mass genocide, you're not the good guy.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
We'll leave that there. That's fun. I don't think there's anything more we need to say about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so she destroys the Uranos trigger, and Ironfire is like, you bitch. And she goes, don't call me a bitch, you faggot. Because he is a little faggot. You know what I mean? He is. He's in love with the white sword.
No, I know. And wasn't he doing gay stuff in the future in the other ones? Wasn't he lovers
He does
with
gay
somebody?
stuff. He does gay stuff.
Yeah. What do you think those horns are for?
What do you think those horns are for? So she's like, get the fuck out my face. He goes, you know what? I'm going to go take it to them myself. And she's like, go ahead. Do that. Because you're being whiny.
Yeah.
And then Sunspot is talking to her and like, basically, Sunspot's like, you're right to not use this thing.
Yeah. And apparently Nova is somehow not dead, but just covered in the pestilence plague.
The Nova Force is like keeping him alive, but he's in really bad shape. But then Apocalypse shows up and everyone's shocked. And they're like, what are you doing here? And he's like, first of all, hello, Death. Thank you for killing your sister. I'm proud of you, my boy.
Yeah. But he's still like, but you have a way to go.
Yeah, and then exactly.
I'm still not fully on board with you yet. It's like fuck.
yeah. But you're getting there. Aurora, a moment, please. And what I like about this, he's like, you're basically right to not use the Uranos trigger. She's like, if I'm gonna have blood on my hands, I want it to be like blood I've caused, that I can live with. And she's like, if I release Uranos versus if I do it myself, the difference is at least I would know when to stop. And this great line from Apocalypse, he's like, yeah, that's what we all tell ourselves.
Yeah.
I know when to stop.
Yeah.
Love that. But what I love is that this spell that he's doing, that Aurora is at the center of, and that the four corners are at the corners of, this goes way back to Teenie Howard's Excalibur, like the beginning of the Krakoan era in Excalibur, when Apocalypse was going through his grimoire and like showing us all these spells. This is the spell. This is the shit from Excalibur. So I just love how tight it is.
Nice.
How Al Ewing is picking up Teenie Howard stuff. Very cool. So they do the spell with Aurora at the middle, and then I'm sorry, this collage of like the spell activating is one of the coolest things I've seen in an X-Men comic.
It's all of her old moments.
But it's also like some old Apocalypse moments. There's a Vulcan moment. There's tomatoes. There's daisies, which I would imagine are symbolic of something. It's just very cool.
Are those apples?
Or are those apples? But they're like photorealistic. They aren't.
I know.
drawn.
I think apples makes more sense of like an Adam and Eve type of thing.
Yeah. Yes. Totally. So, or are they like persimmons?
I don't know.
love a
I think it's
persimmon.
apples and sunflowers.
Okay.
But
Okay.
whatever.
Okay. Have you ever had persimmon?
I do not like persimmons.
Interesting. You might want to try it with a little bit of cinnamon and honey on the holidays.
I feel they taste cinnamony already in a weird way.
Oh.
Like they have
Yeah,
that
they do.
weird. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry to this persimmon. Anyway, it ends with the original Krakoan. What is that monster? Korak?
I'm sorry. Could we go back to the persimmons for? I'm just kidding. No, they create a new one.
Oh, so it's a new one. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. They bring their territory to life, and it's Kowarak, like the old beat poet, like the old beatnik writer.
And basically, I love that it's now Aurora is like, I control nature. And Genesis is like, no, I control nature. So it's just going to be nature versus Mother Nature versus Mother Nature. Who's going to win? And we all know who's going to win. Storm.
Genesis looks real nervous that this giant monster being controlled by Storm is coming. And Storm's like, raise your island and fight, which is going to be so cool because we're going to get like this Pacific Rim kaiju Godzilla.
Exactly. It's just turning into a Godzilla comic.
Yeah, so dope.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great. So next week I think we'll have some Iceman, we'll have some Children of the Vault, maybe some Dark X-Men, we'll see.
Great. Children of the Vault, just what I've been jonesing for.
Oh my God. Every time we bring up Children of the Vault, we turn into the biggest bitches.
Well, it's garbage.
I like it.
I hate it.
I like it. It's not that bad. It's not
hate
garbage.
it. I hate children. I hate vaults. I hate all of it.
I hate prepositions.
Yeah.
I hate articles.
All right.
So since we hate comic books so much, should we talk about TV and movies?
I think we should. Why don't we hit
Okay.
the music?
I always feel like I'm watching a comic movie or TV.
Okay.
So I'm curious how you want to do this because we've got two in Loki and the Marvels, which are very tethered to one another.
yeah, let's talk about Doom Patrol, then we're going to talk about Loki, and then that will lead into the Marvels.
Okay.
So
Because Doom Patrol, I almost kind of want to. We'll do exactly what you just said because that was great. But Doom Patrol, part of me wanted to save to the end because how lucky were we to have this show in our lives?
I don't know, because I thought it turned to absolute garbage at the end.
No, I know, but overall, it did. It was kind of rushed. Like we have to end it. Let's just get it over with. But
It rushed.
I thought the finale was beautifully emotional.
Yeah. I felt you say rushed. I think it's the opposite of rushed. They spent
Or just not
5
thoughtful.
episodes of them being like, we're old and we're dying. I'm like,
That's true. It was a lot
over
of
it.
character. Yeah, a lot of talking.
And then Rita Farr is just like, whine, I'm getting old, whine. And then she just dies. Ugh. And yeah, the ending, everybody got their ending.
Everyone found peace in one way or the other, whether it was love or death.
And which is great, but it just, all the other stuff before that, it lost all of the fun. Other than the musical episode.
It got very dark.
Other than the musical episode, everything was just long, drawn out. Let me just talk about my feelings
I disagree.
and emotions.
They did fight they did fight a bunch of butts and
No, they didn't.
Mortis
No,
as
that
the
fight,
shitty
that
theater
in the
girl.
end, that butt fight lasted 2 minutes, and then they just started
because
singing
they
and
did.
dancing.
From the Music Man, yeah. But I mean, they did establish that that's what they are. That was their nature, was to just do musical theater.
Yes, I just felt it. Just I was bored. I had to push myself through these last episodes. So yeah,
having 4 seasons of that show, we were lucky to have 4 seasons of that show, because even Doom Patrol at its worst, I'd rather watch that than most other shit on TV.
But see, I also am a person that if a show does not end well, the whole show is bad.
It sullies. Oh,
I say that Lost is bad. I believe Battlestar Galactica is bad. If a show that is like some of my most brilliant favorite episodes of any series ever, but they ended bad, and I now hate the whole show and I will not rewatch it.
You shouldn't do that to yourself.
I think I should.
Okay.
Because if you can't stick the landing, you don't get points. And you get a bad score.
I loved it. I am never going to say a show that gave us Danny the Street is bad. I'm never going to say a show that gave us all of those wonderful Mr. Nobody Alan Tudyk moments.
Bring him back. He should have been brought back. I don't know. I just am so disappointed. That's all I can think about is my disappointment in how the show ended. And I understand that they were not given the budget and they just had to end it really fast. I get it.
Yeah.
But they probably didn't have as much exciting things because then the budget was slashed. But I don't know. I just felt like they could have, all the comedy and the levity was just sucked out of it.
Kind of sucked out of it.
And I think that's what was missing.
This season also went on too long. Like, I don't think we needed, after the mid-season hiatus, we needed another 6 episodes. You could have got this done in 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end, all of our characters, so what happened? Robot Man went back home to his grandson and died. Rita Farr, old age, realized that they all should be moving on to other things. So she willingly, passed on to the other side, where she met the love of her life there in heaven. So great. Crazy Jane was integrated into a whole, calling herself Kaleidoscope, which starts with a K, which was interesting. She went into space with her new lover, Space Case. Mm-hmm. Fun. Madame Rouge, this was my favorite. She took a villain turn and she seeked revenge on the ant farm and that whole organization that kind of controlled her life. Cyborg, wonderful. Started at school, great. And then who's he? Larry. Oh my God. Larry was able to just still be ugly and horribly burned. Have his
cosmic faggotry.
Have his boyfriend in space. Just making out with his hot boyfriend for all eternity in a radioactive cloud in space. Love it.
Yeah.
Understand this had its flaws. I just want to say thank you, Doom Patrol, for many fun moments that will never be sullied in my mind.
Oh.
Loki and the Marvels.
I want to actually talk about something else real quick, just a show I saw. And I know it's a little different, but I just want to throw it in there that I saw, and I just kind of want to talk about it. I did bring this up with you. I watched a gay musical.
Oh, what?
It's called Dix the Musical.
Oh, I've heard of it.
It stars who are the people that are in this? It
stars
Joshua Sharp, Josh Sharp, and Aaron
Jackson.
And they're this gay comedy duo. They've been on You've probably seen them.
They did a show at UCB.
They did a show at UCB, but they've been on different talk shows.
Klepper.
Yeah, they've been on different talk shows and stuff like that. And basically, it's like a Parent Trap where they play identical twins. And the joke is that they're like,
yes.
Oh my God, we're identical twins. I can't tell you apart. And Megan Mullally plays the mom, and Nathan Lane plays the dad. And it's a musical number. And Bowen Yang plays God. And it's basically just a musical number of them. It's just like a dirty,
and
disgusting,
Megan Thee Stallion plays their boss.
Like gay, campy. Oh, Megan Thee Stallion plays the boss. And it's just, if you want to watch something gay and fun with musical numbers and dirty body jokes and flying vaginas and incest, It's great. It's great.
This movie is so good. The two of them play. The funniest part about it for me is that the two of them play heterosexual men, which is just like a whole subversion of.
But
the
it
whole,
opens
like,
up where it's like we are both gay men and we are bravely choosing to play heterosexual men. Like it opens
Isn't
with
that
a
brave?
statement.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny. And then the only complaint I had is that I wish they leaned in to it being low budget. I think for music, a lot of the musical numbers, I just felt like
a little polished.
Like it was just, well, it was more just like a TV episode. Like it felt more like TV than a movie.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I felt like they should have just leaned into it being goofy and weird. And a lot of times I just like, because I also recently watched A Haunting in Venice.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
With Tina Fey, which is such a weird casting choice, but it actually
Yeah.
kind of works. And I really liked it.
It's kind of like how they had Saunders and French in
Yes.
Death on the Nile, which was like weird, but it worked.
And I will tell you this, like Kenneth Branagh has an amazing director of photography, an amazing DP, and he's an amazing director. And just the whole thing just takes place in a house. And the fact that it felt so lush and powerful, where this Dix the musical, even though it was a musical number, it was like just set the camera down and here they're just moving around.
Yeah.
It was like the writing and the music and the songs and the acting and performance were all hilarious, but it was just shot very cheaply. And I just wish it had the budget to do like an extravagant musical numbers out of it.
Yes. It's so funny. I saw them perform in Brooklyn about like 2 months before the movie came out. I saw them do one of their live shows that they used to do all the time here. And the way that they approach performing musical theater with such earnest, like they turn off their kind of comedic personas when they're performing, and they really try to like give it to you, like give you a performance. And they know they're not talented, but they really do. Like they performed Winner Takes It All with this professional singer to end their comedy show. And you could tell they have rehearsed, they practice, like they really, really try.
Yeah.
It's so funny. The only thing these two queens take seriously is singing.
Yeah.
Everything else is a big joke. It's so funny. But anyway, the movie's great. I'm going to watch it 80 times.
Yeah, it's great. I highly recommend it. And I feel like because it was gay, I had to bring it up.
That we could talk about it. Another thing, but one way they do lead into the goofiness and the low budget, there are so many moments where one of them breaks, but they keep it in.
Yeah.
Like you are watching people in a movie break, and it's just part of the scene. It's so funny.
Yeah. It's really fun. And but now back to Loki.
Here's my headline. I thought with some of the reveals in the finale, it actually addressed some of my complaints. And I was like, okay, thank you. And so that made me feel better. This was an instance, the ending made me feel better about the rest of the show.
And I understand what you're saying, but also it made me feel that about 3 episodes of it were completely pointless.
Sure.
It's like all these 3 episodes happen, and then it's like, actually, I'm just going to go back in time earlier because none of this is working. I feel like we're at a point, and I'm just going to throw this out there. I think one of the reasons, and there's only one, there is one exception, and I think it's because it started out this way. But the reason the MCU is failing is because it is relying on time travel and interdimensional realities. It does not sustain storytelling because it's just too easy of an out, and there's no stakes.
100%.
It becomes boring. The only time it works is Into the Spider-Verse, the cartoon, because it started out that way.
Because it's so intimate.
And that is also, it's just being told in a beautiful, gorgeous way. And we also know it's a trilogy, and then we're done. And it's like, done. This, it's like they're trying to tell an expanded story between so many different shows, so many different movies, all connected by these different reality bending things. And it's just really hard to take seriously when it's like, oh, I can just go back in time. Like, let's show these people die, and now I can just go back in time and fix it. It just takes away the stakes.
One thing I thought worked about that though is they were a way to illustrate where I'm going is that the title of the final episode of the last season was the title of the first episode of the first season. They're both called Glorious Purpose. And I do with characters whose names have always been Mobius, which is that infinite loop, and Ouroboros, which is that snake eating its tail. They always were saying that this show was going to kind of start at the beginning, was going to loop back to where, like, they were always kind of telling you that we were on a very circular ride. And so that's why I don't mind what you're talking about, because I thought they set that expectation from jump.
I guess. And for me, it also started becoming a lot of really dramatic monologue stories where I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Can we
move on? The thing that they kind of addressed that I was like, okay, thank you, is throughout this season, I've been complaining about the temporal loop, that it doesn't make any sense, like what it's doing. And like, it just didn't I never connected to anyone's explanation of what that thing was for.
And then they just blew it up.
I thought it was, well, no, because what its real purpose was a bomb.
Yeah.
Like its real purpose was to, in case of emergency, blow up all the other timelines. And I was like, okay, thank you. That's clear. So I kind of forgave any of the muddiness because it was deliberate muddiness.
Yeah. I guess it's just, I felt, I think the chemistry of all the characters are really great, and that kept me going. But there also was sometimes there was just, and I think this is also a thing with the TV, there was just lulls. And where I just felt it was a showrunner's fault of like the pacing was just off.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things, like you said, kind of amounted to nothing. Like that episode 5 where he has to go get all those
the team back together, and now we're all dead. I'm just going to go back in time.
For what? To watch
just,
them die? Like,
yeah,
it was pointless.
It was pointless.
A lot of, yeah.
Yeah, and then that didn't. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Like the stuff it was building toward wound up having no payoff. Yeah,
exactly. And that was my big problem. And then by the time it ended, I will say I felt it needed to give a bit of a what's next a bit, which I feel it didn't really,
a little bit.
I wish it had a little more of like, what does this mean? Okay, so in this, Loki, and when he kind of realizes, oh, this whole lumen stuff, it needs to just go away, and it needs to be me. I'm the person that needs to make the sacrifice, and it's all about him being like, I'm doing all this. I'm spending decades learning physics and all, trying to save everybody because I don't want to be alone. This is the first time I've realized I have friends. I don't want to be alone. And then he's kind of realizing, actually, the only way to save everybody is for me to be alone.
Ultimately alone, like be the last person at the end of time.
And I do like that, where he's now going to be he's going to the end of time. When he goes and takes all of those branches, infuses his powers on them, sits on a throne, and he's now the nexus holding all of these branches, it turns to the side and looks like a tree.
Yeah.
Is that an Asgardian?
The world tree.
So it's the world tree.
The world tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I was like,
I really love.
I was like, that's the thing. And they're all.
Yes.
I started to with Joe and his brother. And they're like, what thing? And I'm like, it's the thing though. It's the thing.
It's a very Asgard Thor.
Yes. Okay.
Thing.
So I liked that.
So that was cool. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. I did like where it ended. I liked him taking all the branches, creating the world tree, sitting at the throne at the end of the universe. Like the irony of he found glorious purpose and it's really important. And he finally got to sit on a throne, but at what price, and where is that throne? All of that stuff I thought was really good. I thought like the macro narrative was really good, but kind of a lot of how we got there felt wasted.
Here's the other interesting thing is it now looks like Jonathan Majors, Kang, is just not important anymore.
I do love that the TVA's new purpose now is to hunt down Kang variants. That I love. But Kang very much does not sit at the end of time anymore.
Yeah, but is this them writing him out?
No, I don't think so at all.
Okay.
No, it's setting up the battle against him, if anything.
And I think that's where I wish there was then. Let's see him. Let's see another version of him show up.
Well, they're going through auditions. Let them go through a few rounds of auditions.
Okay, fine. But that would be because in the end, what they really showed, the only thing they showed in the future is that the TVA thing didn't consent to Victor Timely or whatever. So it's like, oh, so you're not important anymore, at least that version. So it kind of left in my mouth. It was like, we don't care about this actor anymore. We're done with him.
I don't know. We'll see.
Also, was Renslayer, did she just die at the end of time?
No, she was pruned. And so she wound up, at that place where everyone goes when they're pruned. And she actually found herself outside of a pyramid. So I'm going to call that she's going to hook up with Rama Tut.
No, but remember when they were being chased by that thing that sucks everything up and kills it? And in the very end, the thing was, you saw it was like coming over her, like it was going to kill her.
Oh, no, she'll be fine. She'll be with Rama Tut.
Who's Rama Tut?
Another version of Kang, the Egyptian version.
Oh. All right. Well, it was over, and I just felt it was a bit of a mess. It wasn't awful because it's great acting, great characters, but it's a bit of a mess. And
you know what?
Yeah.
I'll say this too, though. So is most Loki stuff in the comics. The Loki stuff is just so purposefully confounding of like who he is, how they identify. A lot of Loki doesn't always make sense.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that that's good. That doesn't mean that's a good thing.
Correct.
Some Loki stuff do make sense. Remember in the Asgardian Wars, the Alpha Flight X-Men crossover?
Yeah.
That's a great Loki villain story. I loved it.
Yeah.
So Loki happened, and it's just making me really apparent of how they desperately do need showrunners. And I kept thinking, like, this isn't good TV. And I'm going to lead this into the Marvels. Do you know what is really good TV? The Marvels movie.
Yeah.
I feel the Marvels movie. All right, well, here, let's do, we're going to do a 1, 2, 3 on the Marvels, what we thought about it. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I loved it.
Liked it. It was fun. I did not love it, but I liked it. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Love, I don't know. But here's the deal. If this premiered just as a TV show, I think it would have been incredible. But as a movie, there is a grandness that I felt it just wasn't. It felt a little rushed. It was a little lacking. That being said, people are saying that this is the downfall of the MCU. This is the worst MCU movie ever made.
Opening.
That is craziness. This movie is better than the last Thor movie. This movie is
100%.
This movie is,
and the second one.
This movie
and the first one, if I may be so bold.
This movie is way better than Ant-Man. Ant-Man and Quantumania is terrible. This movie, my qualms with it is it didn't feel grand enough. It felt a little rushed, but it was fun. It made sense. You saw fun fight scenes. The characters had great chemistry. I think in the end, when people are complaining about this, it just feels like you're rooting for a bunch of female superheroes to fail. It feels misogynistic to me.
Exactly. Like, go back and watch the first Thor, The Incredible Hulk, like Iron Man 2. Like, you're going to put those movies over this one? Come on.
Yeah, this was really fun.
This was inventive. It was like goofy, creative. This one knew how to do the thing that Eternals did not, which was how to balance the humor and the action and the character work. I thought it balanced all of that stuff really well.
Yes. That being said, I did have a gripe with when I heard that one of my favorite Korean actors, Park Seo-joon, is going to be in it. He was in Itaewon Class. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? He was in Parasite. He is so hot, and I love him, and he is a great comedic actor. When I found out he was going to be in this movie, I was so excited. They gave him...
We thought Marvel Boy.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They gave him nothing. He was just like there. I will not kneel.
Yeah, I mean,
Hello.
It was funny though that he turned out to be Carol's husband.
Yes, but then they should have given the character a personality. And I don't know if I want to blame him or the director or the writing, but he just was like there.
I think I did hear that there was a lot cut from this movie. I do want to say that they probably spent a lot more time on that planet.
Yeah, I just felt like he showed up, he sang, and then he's like, "Hey, everybody," and then he's like, "All right, well, you go fight," and then she's like, "Kneel." I won't kneel, and I'm like, I want to know. Just can we get like a little more about what this person is like? I just from them singing together, I did not get. I felt there needed to be chemistry between her and him, and they gave between. Captain Marvel, and they just didn't give any time to it. So that annoyed me. Yeah. Where I'm like, you're wasting this great actor.
The musical planet was pretty hilarious.
Oh, that was hilarious, but I guess I wanted more. I was like, more.
Because you're really into this actor and not everyone is, so okay.
Shut the fuck up. Even if I wasn't into this actor, I would be like, this character is like giving nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could have been anybody. It could have been any character, anybody.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, like the musical planet was fun. Like the joke about like he starts talking and she's like, he's bilingual. I thought that was really funny. There were good jokes in this.
The other thing though, is it turns out, Darben, who is the bad guy.
Yes. Thomas Hiddleston's wife, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
How did they meet? Did they meet on making a movie?
Do you remember
together?
when I don't know how they met, but fun fact, when I went to see the play Betrayal on Broadway, because it was a 3-person play, it's Tom Hiddleston, Charlie Cox, and her.
Who's Charlie Cox?
Daredevil?
Oh, right. Oh, that is random.
Yeah.
Okay. Hot.
Yeah.
Basically Darben is like, oh, since Hala is dying, the sun is dying because Captain Marvel killed the AI. I'm not sure how those two things connect to each other.
Killed the supreme intelligence, which ran the whole planet, and then the planet just fell into disarray, dystopia.
How does killing the AI that runs a planet make the sun's core run out of juice?
Right.
Also, and then I will say, well, here, we'll get to it later towards that. But basically, Darben is like, I need to save our planet, so I'm going to go to every planet that Carol Danvers likes, and I'm going to steal the atmosphere from this planet. I'm going to go to, what is this planet called? Aldana? What is it? Atlanta? Aldana?
Yeah.
I'm going to take their water. Also, she's sucking up the water. We never go back to it. Were they okay? Is that planet gone?
We'll never know.
I know. It's like, can we get I just wanted to see just one cut to the thing closing on that planet and everyone being like, yay, we're alive. Because there's just...
Cut back to your boy, like swimming. Like, there's still a lot left.
Especially after Guardians of the Galaxy and Loki. We're just mass genociding planets, timelines. Can we I just want to see where it's like, oh, look, we're going to not mass genocide somebody. Just for change.
Oh, look, we're gonna show the ramifications of it, or we're gonna try to dive into what that really is, what that really means.
Yeah. I just sometimes I feel like people are writing a Marvel movie and they're like, yes, but is 1 billion people gonna die? No, I don't know if the stakes are big enough.
Yes, but we're not gonna cover it.
Yeah.
Yes, but we're not gonna show it to anybody.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping that water planet where Brie Larson was the princess of is fine.
I have to think. I mean, it was like 99.97% water. Like that's going to take a really long time to suck up, and it's just like the people on that one island.
But that was also the capital. So I mean, did all the millions of people when you suck up all the water like that? I don't know. That seems like pretty devastating to that town. I don't know. I'm just going to assume that everything was fine. Okay.
They're fine.
In the end, Brie Larson decides to make things right by making the sun, by refueling the sun.
Yeah.
Can I just say, she can refuel a sun, but she can't grab a bracelet off of somebody? I don't know. Sometimes things like that bother me.
No, I did have a moment where like she was like having trouble fighting two people. I'm like, she went toe to toe with Thanos, right?
Yeah, she's supposed to be like as powerful as a planet. Like,
yeah,
what? So
like
sometimes that bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, me too. Totally. Yeah. But I thought Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau really made me happy, especially when she showed up in a costume, especially when she was doing all powerful shit at the end, especially when she's fighting someone and she phases through them and then turns around and punches them. There was really good Monica Rambeau stuff, but here's my thing. They did so much about like, what's your name? What's your, like, let's come up with different names.
And they
for
never
you.
said Spectrum.
Well, she did say Spectrum,
but but she never said my name is going to be Spectrum.
Because it should have been Photon, which is Maria Rambeau's call sign on her fighter jet. She's Maria Photon Rambeau.
Right.
So they never did the moment that we were all waiting for. That was like where she looks at the picture of her mom in front of her jet and be like, "Oh, Photon."
Yeah.
Like that never happened.
Yeah. Waste of time.
It's so weird. Yeah.
But basically, and then Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan now has both bracelets.
And she was also, to me, the best part of the movie.
Oh, yeah. She was the heart.
Yeah.
And
her family, amazing. Good job leaning into the Khans, who we all know from the show are really funny and they really work and they're really great. Love to see them getting in on the fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just really fun. It was really fun.
Iman Vellani, her delivery to me was so much better than everyone else in the movie in terms of nailing the joke lines.
Yeah.
Or even making lines that weren't supposed to be funny on paper funny by the way she said them.
Yeah.
She's great.
And it was just a nice thing where it's like the Marvels all teamed up. We're kind of a team. And then we beat the bad guy. But in order to beat the bad guy, Monica Rambeau had to sacrifice herself because the rifts, these jump points that were being opened up, this was not a jump point to a different point in the universe. This was a jump point to a different universe, different reality.
It actually ripped the fabric of space-time. And so we had like our first kind of incursion, which was one reality about to collide with another.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monica had to go into that rift, seal it shut, but she had to seal herself shut on the other side, which I was like, no, you didn't. But
I know. Part of me was like, why can't you do it on the other side?
I can't just do it from the other side. Right.
Yeah.
But so that leaves her in the other reality. And so you just knew at that moment, like, okay, the mid-credit scene is going to be like where she wakes up and it's either going to be Toby or Hugh Jackman,
But before we get to that mid-credit scene, let's talk about where this ends because, Brie Larson is still off doing her Captain Marvel stuff, but Ms. Marvel wants a team.
Oh.
And apparently, S.H.I.E.L.D. Just loves leaving iPads around with top secret information on it.
Yeah.
Which is very worrisome that no one cared about that.
Right.
But who does Ms. Marvel show up to? But Hawkeye, Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop.
Like when Valkyrie showed up earlier, I was like, yay. But then when Kate Bishop showed up, you best believe I was like, oh my God.
That's right. She's like, let's form a team. She doesn't say it, but it's basically like the Young Avengers. Hello. What?
My favorite thing is she's like, why is no one thinking about the kids superheroes out there? And Kate goes, well, I'm 23. So.
Yeah.
So funny.
And then she she says, I heard Ant-Man has a daughter.
Doesn't Ant-Man have a daughter?
Doesn't Ant-Man have a daughter? And then we also are going to have America Chavez. And then we also know that Billy is showing up in House of Harkness.
In Agatha.
And the only thing is we never heard anything else about, we saw the character that would be Patriot, but we never heard from him again. So is this going to be an all ladies or gay team? Are there any?
Oh my God.
I'm just curious of like, is there going, I guess, because even Speed is technically bisexual.
Oh, that's right.
But are there going to be any other men on the team, or is this going to be all ladies? Not that
I don't know. I mean,
complaining.
Young Avengers is a very queer team. Always has been.
But it's not listed as anything coming up anytime soon.
Right.
I feel that's
unless they're going to be.
I think they're hiding it.
Will they be a big part of Thunderbolts?
Maybe. Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, know what? I like the idea if then the new official Avengers are the Thunderbolts and the young Avengers have to come to fight against them. Oh, that's what it is.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think Julia Louis-Dreyfus's efforts are meant to fight the event. I think that's a Young Avengers storyline.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Great.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that is great because they're kind of in over their head, and people are going to look at them as the bad guys. And,
the only thing is, do you know what this is missing? Is one of Kamal's best friends, Miles Morales.
Who? Oh.
I hate that Spider-Man is in a different cartoon universe.
Well, he's the next big, I feel the next big character drop. What characters will
but
say?
that's Sony though.
Characters.
I think they're done dealing with Sony, so they're not wanting any Spider-Man stuff anymore.
Fuck. All right, can we talk about it?
Let's talk about the end. What have I been begging for at the end of a goddamn movie? One of these mid-credits releases. What have I always been asking for, Brett? What have I been asking for years?
The X-Men.
And fucking Monica Rambeau, she wakes the fuck up and she sees her mom. And
it's Maria.
And her mom does not recognize her. And I'm like, oh, she is in a different universe. And I see the top of that suit and I fucking turn to Joe. And Joe does not know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I went, that's fucking binary. She's wearing binary. I recognize it.
So let's stop right there because one thing I love that the MCU has done, have you noticed every time there's an alternate Captain Marvel, quote unquote, in a different dimension, it's always Maria Rambeau and not Carol Danvers.
And she mentioned this in the movie. She's like, you were the one that was supposed to be riding in the plane.
Yes, I love that. That adds to the character of Carol Danvers so much for me, that she was the one that wasn't supposed to. Technically, Carol Danvers should be a variant that the TVA should go after.
Yes, and this, and this is very similar to the interdimensional plot line that's happening in Invincible right now. Is in the Invincible TV show, we're dealing with a world where Mark, this is the only universe where Mark didn't take his dad's side and didn't become evil. And I find that interesting. And most of these other universes, Maria Rambeau is Captain Marvel. And because she's binary, what does that mean? That means she fucking battled Vogue. I said Vogue. Rogue.
Right.
And if the Rogue's there, fucking turns around, you hear fucking Kelsey Grammer's fucking voice. It's fucking Kelsey Grammer Beast.
Yes. So a scientist walks in. It's very interesting. You seem to be from another dimension. He says binary here. Saved you, found you, cut to it, and it's fucking Hank McCoy. It's Hank McCoy. What was your reaction? What did you say? What did you do?
I literally was like, but me being the bitch name, I was like, finally.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this, but also I'm kind of pissed. Because the fact that it's in a different universe.
No, I know.
It's still not connecting to the MCU. It's not an MCU reveal. Especially now we've revealed that Kamala is a mutant. There's nothing that was touched on again.
I hate that all the X-Men stuff is and they're from another dimension. I'm like, oh, okay.
So it still pissed me off, but I loved it.
I grabbed my husband. I looked at my good buddy from Chicago who loves Beast, by the way. And I out loud said, what the fuck is happening?
And I just love that Monica's like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck, I'm in a different universe.
Such a great reaction. She went, oh, shit. After having the big emotional breakdown of Mom, it's my dead mom. She's like, fuck.
And she's like, who are you,
it's fucking
bitch?
Beast. So officially, because you can't count Xavier, the first X-Man we've seen on screen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Beast.
Which is weird though, because technically Deadpool, which is now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I guess the first two movies, that doesn't count as being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Or is he still in that universe and he's just going to bop around dimensions?
And have we looked up on Deadpool? Is one Monica Rambeau in the new Deadpool movie?
Not sure. But you know who is?
Who?
Miss Minutes.
Oh, because the TVA is going to be in the new Deadpool movie.
Yep. I like a lot of people are saying that much like that What If, the cartoon, there's going to be a team of multiversal Avengers that are being put together.
Fun. And then
it starts with
let's
Deadpool.
kill Kang so we can stop the multiverse stuff. I'm over it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's going to be here for a while.
Is Colossus better be in it too? In Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean, he's a staple of Deadpool movies.
Yeah. And
I think
Negasonic Teenage Warhead is going to be in it. So I love her. I love her.
You know what though? I don't, because now that we've got Kelsey Grammer, Hank McCoy Beast, like I don't want to see this.
You're like, I don't need these pittance. I don't need pittance.
Exactly. I don't need these crumbs. Like, give me fucking Warren Worthington. You know what I mean? Like, give me the X-Men. Also notice that every time so far we've seen Xavier and Beast, they're both straight out of the cartoon.
Yeah.
But like, give me Gambit and Rogue. I don't want to see Negasonic.
We also need to start casting who's the real X-Men characters are going to be playing. They're still using like old school people, so like this isn't the permanent who's going to be the real X-Men of the future.
Yeah, but we're going to see the old school people first. Like we definitely, before we see a new Jean Grey, we're going to see Famke again.
I'm telling you right now, though, I really, 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 really want them to start casting the new X-Men. I want them to really... this is the thing that's going to save them. It's going to save them.
They're not even doing Fantastic Four. Like, what the fuck?
Is Fantastic Four like completely not on the list of anymore?
No, I mean, it's cast, or is it? They're just not...
I don't understand what the fuck is taking so long.
I don't know.
And the strike is over. The strike is over, so there's no... So start filming those boys episodes. Start filming all of this shit now, because I need to see it.
Flip everything back on. Come on, let's go.
Now I get to see... Finally, I get to see who wins the Emmys. The Emmy winners. Emmys is coming out in December. Supposed to be in September.
So funny. Ooh, I can't wait. Well, you know who the rumored Reed Richards is?
Who now?
Jake Gyllenhaal now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But he's already a different character.
I know. But so is Gemma Chan.
Yeah, but she was in like heavy makeup. Like you couldn't tell like who she was. Same thing with like Josh Brolin is Cable and Thanos. You can't tell he's Thanos because... Or
same thing as the only other actor who has played two Marvel characters.
Chris Evans?
No, I mean in the MCU.
Who?
Judy Greer.
Who is she? Who was she?
She's Scott Lang's ex-wife.
And who else is she?
She is the voice of Warpig in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, once again, you can't really tell. So it's fine.
Judy Greer.
But hey, in the end, don't believe the hype that Marvel's is a bad movie. It's a fun romp. It's fun.
It's a fun romp.
Is it going to be your favorite Marvel movie of all time? No. But it's a bunch of kick-ass women shooting each other up. Yeah, it's great.
That opening sequence of when they all started switching was so good.
Fun, great. And all the fighting was great. Great.
When they coordinated their switching and they were practicing, it was great. The relationships were great. The Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel hero worship stuff. When finally Kamala was like, "I'm sorry that I came on so strong and didn't give you room to be a real person." I was like, "Oh, that's so insightful." Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Oh my God, it was when it looked like you may not. you may not be able to see the movie this weekend when you texted me, and then I saw Beast. I was like, oh God.
I know.
Oh my God.
Everyone was like, ooh, there's a big thing that's been spoiled. And I'm like, I don't want to know. And
that's why I did not play it up, because you.
I know.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like, I'm going to be, if I don't see it this weekend, even though I feel a little under the weather, I'm going to fucking miss it. But I will say, I went to that theater with my mask on. Other than me, Joe, and his brother, 3 other people in the theater.
You're like, there's no one here to even get sick.
No one gave a shit. I will say, do you go to the IMAX screening of it, or do you go to the 3D screening of it?
IMAX, typically. 3D, never. It's typically the Dolby that I do.
I don't.
But I did IMAX this time.
I don't like IMAX. And this is where I'm an old man. Where it's
I went to IMAX. It was full.
I know, but there's a chance maybe everyone was at the IMAX screening of it, and that's why, because I went to the regular. IMAX, I don't want to turn my head to like see what's happening in a movie.
Yeah, I don't want to crick.
And close-ups are out of control creepy on IMAX.
Oh my God, it's like you're in their mouth.
Yeah. What is this, Gulliver's Travels? Like, I don't like it.
Seriously.
Well, we did it. We covered a lot of shit.
We did with momentum, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to take us out?
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of comic books and movies and opinions, but you know what? Watch the stuff, form your own, or just listen to us because we're always right. We're also queer. You know why? Because we used to read comic books, or we still do. And if you read comics, well, then that makes you queer.
Bye.
Bye.